We move into this game. It is hype. It is the one North American representative, Hitman, top 5 of the world, currently going into a match against the best human in the world from Korea. Hitman versus Chaemiko. Man, I'm so hyped for these Hitman games. Moon is already waiting in the winner bracket semifinal. The winner of this best of 3 will face him, and then the winner of that one moves on to face Foggy. This could be one representative of Europe and one representative of North America clashing in the winner bracket final if Hitman brings his A game here, and the Koreans would all be in the lower bracket as we have a bit of a spike. Whoopsie.
Oh, it looks like he...
Yeah. Got a little bit of a spike at the beginning of the game. This looks like a regame for sure. Of course, we will grant that to him. Just a little bit.
Hitman is a player that really needs to build his altar fast at the beginning. And he also is a player, the only player that, other than maybe Grubby, has been doing it more recently, he didn't do it in the past, micros his 4 peons on gold to mine at full or 99% efficiency until his hero comes out. He does that on most maps that it's possible to do on. So he really likes to be attentive for every second of the game. He wants to micro. I'll watch his peons micro, try to micro them alongside him. Yeah, so if he's idle for a couple seconds, he doesn't like it.
Doesn't work at all. No. If there's a spike at the beginning of the game, we oftentimes say Warcraft 3 is a very snowbally game. Yeah, and then if you miss out the first 10 seconds of the game, that has a great effect on the later stages. But here we go. Trying this again. Second best orc in the world according to our ELO ranking versus the best human in the world according to the ELO ranking. This is pretty insane. Hitman actually ranked 4 in the world. So far, Chaemiko won the direct encounters head-to-head, but Hitman, I'm pretty sure, is about to change that. NA number 1, Hitman versus Chaemiko. Let's go.
Yeah, Nia, do you remember the matches that they've played? I can't. Maybe it was only 1 or 2 times. I don't know if they played an ESL Cup. I know that Sock has signed up for some of the ESL Americas Cups. I can't remember them playing too often. Do you have any memory of this?
I'm pretty sure it was the one WGL where Hitman was participating. That was 2019 round robin group stage. There it was a 2-0 versus Chaemiko, but Hitman is a very different player and Chaemiko is a very different player since then as well. Like the grind these guys have been through is just insane. Like 40 games a day, 50 games a day. Just unbelievable how much better these guys got. Like someone mentioned it, like back in the Zotac Cup days, people were kind of making a fool out of Chaemiko. It was kind of a free win, but these days are long gone.
Yeah, it was Chae Young and Email fans, and they were 2 Korean players that you would be like, oh, if they go up against Focus, something like that, they're just going to get destroyed. They go up against anyone that is a top caliber Korean player, they're going to get destroyed. But then, they both changed their names slightly. Email fans to Sock and Chae Young to Chaemiko. And here we are, number 1, number 2 humans in the world.
Boom, boom, boom. We got a CORSAIR versus Archmage opening. Shattered Exile is a map that we haven't seen too much. Once in the tournament with Lawlight versus Focus. So also for us casters, new territory. Wonder how well these guys are prepared. It's a big map. It has cross spawn. And we kind of know this as a 2-on-2 map, but we wanted to shake up the map pool a little bit, bring a bigger map in, as Twisted Meadows was, for balance reasons, kind of deleted from the map pool. This is a new approach of a new macro map. We'll see how this goes. Chaemiko going for the gold mine right away.
Yeah, and Hitman, it seems, didn't know that it was forced cross spawns, so he did send his wolves initially to the 2 corner spawns. Luckily for him, he'll move his CORSAIR to the right spawn, but because he uses 2 wolves very inefficiently, he doesn't scout where Chaemiko's creeping, and now he hasn't scouted the fast expansion yet.
Whoops. I think he can assume it once the workers or the herd footmen are coming back from the northern spot. He might know this from the 2-on-2 map pool though. So possibly. He's probably aware of creep spots and creep routes, etc.
And Chaemiko going for the Arcane Tower. Okay, now Hitman finds the expansion attempt. And this is fast tech as well, so this is a very good build order for Chaemiko, just as a counter to what Hitman's doing, but Hitman will have a second hero very soon. The Arcane Tower is pretty safe. No headhunters there to cancel it.
And that's a pass and kill. There's no Town Hall yet, just a tower. Chaemiko playing this really, really safe. Now the overlay is correct. Sorry about that little hiccup. So yeah, fast tech versus fast expansion. How does this rock, paper, scissor system work?
Yeah, well, generally, if you go for one grunt into headhunters, you creep level 2 on your Farseer, then you harass with your single grunt, your single headhunter, and the chain lightning. You can really punish the expansion, even if you can't punish the initial creeping of the expansion from the orc. And this is almost the exact opposite. Straight harass without, now he's got a grunt, but without the grunts and without the headhunters. It's a very good build order for Chaemiko, but if Hitman can do some damage now, then maybe get something like a Panda at tier 2. In fact, he's actually going for a Torn Chieftain. He could punish this, but he's going to be playing maybe a counter expansion, knowing that he can't entirely stop the Expo of Chaemiko.
That was a sick deny by Chaemiko there, pretty much point blank. We have a different mercenary camp here as well. There's basically a mercenary dryad in there, and hey, we got 5 gifted subs by the real Tinker and by Blast. Team Frenchcraft coming in with the gifts. Thank you very much, guys. Frenchcraft, basically the French equivalent to Back to Warcraft. So shout out for everything you do. Very much looking forward to Nations League, which is coming to your home screens in 2022.
2022. Wow. Getting old. Getting old here.
I'm used to the feeling by now. Once you crack the 30, Carson, there's nothing matters anymore.
Oh, that's actually not too far away, man. I'm going past the threshold of my 20s soon.
For Warcraft standards, you're basically a baby.
True. Yeah, that's nice. I have a lot of comfort being in this scene. All right, this is a counter expansion, I think, from Hitman. And there's 2 ways you can play against a fast expansion. You can go all out, like we saw Focus do against Sock yesterday, and just go for the Panda and really try to pressure the expansion to the end of time. Or you can go Torn Chieftain, which scales better into the late game with the Aura, with the Stomp, with the Resurrection later on. And you can try to counter expansion and control the map, denying experience from a future secondary human or hero of the human. So you just steal all the camps away close to their base, while pressuring, while counter expanding. So this is one way that Hitman prefers to play against the Expo. Difficult to do, though.
And here we go. Archmage has a lot of mana, 1.5 water elementals so far. Do you think the creeping on the TC is enough? Do you think Hitman is getting enough done?
It's tough to say, because on a map this big, you really, you can't run across the map and creep camps away from your opponent. And now he's out of position because the map's so big.
Yeah.
And this is going to be at least a burrow going down, if not 2, because the Archmage has another water elemental very soon.
Wyvern not coming, might help with this defense, but the repair is not fast enough. Shaman are coming in soon, they will help with the defense. I think, Footman is scouting the movement of Chaemiko, really well done. Another peon going down. Chaemiko, he really did his homework when it comes to this map.
Yeah, the expansion is really, really paying off. The creeping of it is not the easiest, but the map is so big that you can get the whole camp. And he did a 3-farm expansion as well. So he knew the timing if the Farseer straight ran across the map. Hitman's going to counter-expand, but it's going to be... What? It's going to be about maybe a 3,000 gold advantage for Chaemiko, assuming that Expo doesn't get canceled.
A surround on a Spirit Wolf. Chaemiko just flexing at this point.
Very nice, and the Footman continue to pressure. He's going to surround the Headhunter, possibly. Yeah, he does. How many Footmen will he lose for this? It'll probably end up being worth it, because it is 2 base against 1, and the Expo gets canceled by the Farseer, or by the Archmage, rather, at the south.
But can he force a TP here? He probably will. Oh, Staff! Nice! Not even losing the so expensive TP, and it's not getting the Footman. To be honest, Hitman's in a little bit of trouble here on this map.
Yep, and Chaemiko is about to be tier 2, and he's got 1,000 gold with the Mountain King already on the way, double Sanctum as well.
Ouch.
And yeah, this is going to be a very fast, probably 70 supply push, and Hitman, by the time Chaemiko's 70 supply, Hitman's not even going to have his Expo up.
You know, it's what we say about first games, right? For Hitman, it's 6 a.m. or 5 a.m. or whatever it is, early a.m. Maybe the coffee is not working yet, you know, unfortunate first map for him. Yeah, he can still turn it around. I think the longer the series goes, the better it is for Hitman.
Yeah, for sure. And he's got 2 maps that he'll be quite familiar with. It seems like Chaemiko, like you said, did his homework here, whereas Hitman maybe not so much. So the next maps will be much more standard, but for now, this is going to be a very difficult game to close for Hitman at all, and Chaemiko just continues to pressure. He's going to get another burrow here. Town portal back, but even with that TP, this is still going to be a burrow loss.
Yeah. Is it though? Peons are trying their absolute best to stomp a tiny bit too late. I was about to say, this burrow positioning is a little bit of a double-edged sword. Of course, there's not much surface area on these burrows for footmen to attack, but there's also not much surface area for the peons to repair, and that bites him a little bit, and Chaemiko finds the expansion again.
Yeah, it's going to be tough for Chaemiko to cancel it, though, because if he does, he's going to lose a lot of footmen. But, the Mountain King comes in. That's actually a lot of nice damage. And the splits of the footmen as well to deny the stomp. And all the footmen will go down, but the Expo cancels the real prize. Who cares about the footmen? You got casters on the way.
Yeah, and a lot of them. Sorks are coming. If he sees more Wyvern, maybe even Rifleman. Oh, Hitman aiming for that surround. Doesn't really work. Now with the Stomp, there's no potion. He left the TP on the ground. Did he pick it up? Oh, so close. But with that, he can't save this Mountain King. And maybe that's the way back for Hitman into this game.
Yep, and he could still force the TP on the Archmage. Oh, he turns around to deny. That might end up being a mistake because now the Raider can catch up almost guaranteed.
He has no ensnare, though.
Oh, it's not finished yet. Now the Stomp, though, and the TP force. If he would have not TP'd before the Stomp, he would have lost his Archmage there to Chain Lightning. So a wise TP. And Hitman honestly makes a pretty decent play there. The best he could have, given the circumstances. Still, though, 58 against 41 with a 1,300 gold bank. I'm afraid it might not be enough still.
Just give me more fights like that. Let Hitman catch up. We're going to the mercenary camp. Is there anything interesting in there? Force Troll High Priest, interesting. Geomancer for a little bit of slow. Could be added crowd control. But I think at this stage of the game, you just rely on the Orc units you get. Oh, CORSAIR has no TP. Give him something from the shop. Oh, yikes.
Denied, though, I think. That's something. And the heal scrolls purchased by Chaemiko and the Pushman vulnerability. Expansion 50% done only. Torn Chieftain on his way to level 5, but the Farseer, if he taverns it, that's even less supply that Hitman's going to have. Yeah, he's going to.
43 versus 64. Archmage got a sweet lightning shield. He gets some experience here. He's claiming the shop now, probably. Nice scout with the illusion, but this won't last for too long. Hitman has to eject. Level 4 TC might be the X factor in this game. Got a lot of experience.
Yeah, he's done a lot of creeping, and he continues to creep. Oh, that's a red camp.
Yep.
Yeah, the red camp in a very weird position on this map. Yeah.
Maybe not too familiar with this. More slow from the creeps on the Farseer. Man, this FS has a rough game.
Yeah. Yeah, that is a very weird positioning for a red camp. You would never expect it. Most maps that have creeps in the middle like this, it's always just little greens or little oranges. But yeah, big red camp there with Frost Arrow. And Ben's going to go for it still, though.
Wow, okay. Taking a risk, I like it. Raider! Creeps are getting quite a bit of XP here, and Chaemiko finds out about this. Yeah, this was a risk he had to take, and didn't work out at all. So boom, that's the GG. That's the 1-0 for the best human in the world.
Yeah, just a solid game from Chaemiko. The expansion on 3 farms, knowing the map very well, follows it up with just a lot of pressure with the footman, cancels the Expo 3 times, and then 70 supply against 41. Just a really clean game. Hitman was not prepared for that strat at all.
No, and maybe not prepared for this map as well. Yeah. So I'm kinda curious why he didn't veto it. If he doesn't know it well, maybe he was gambling on the fact that Chaemiko doesn't know it well either. But Chaemiko definitely checked this map out prior to the tournament, and he knew everything. Fast expansion, working well, knew that it was cross-spawn, harassing well, got a lot of burrows. This game spiraled out of control really, really quickly.
Yeah, maybe it was a situation where Hitman was starting to do the vetoes, and he's like, ooh, I can get rid of all these maps I don't like. And then he realizes at the end, he's like, oh shit, I still have this map left in there, which can happen. When it's 11 map pool, the vetoes can go a bit weird. But most of the time, I think from the players that we've seen, the Koreans in particular, they seem to understand this map quite well. They might have played it a little bit more. Maybe they studied the map pool a little bit more, because both Focus and Lalite yesterday as well had a decent understanding of the map, it seemed like.
Okay. The next one is Tidehunters, one of the new maps that was brought to us by the Hive Workshop. They are running a new contest for new maps, and this is what you can find with exclamation mark W3. With exclamation mark Hive. They have a melee mapping contest, the 8th edition. It's live right now. You can find it there on the Hive Workshop. Hive Workshop is for everything custom game related. They create models, they create melee maps, they create custom game maps, and they're looking for new ones. We want to shake up the map pool, bring some fresh air into the competition, and maybe if you're a talented map maker, you can be part of it, or you can get a sneak peek of the new maps that might find their way into the pool. And then we're going to have a tournament on new maps soon. Shout out to the Hive Workshop. hiveworkshop.com. But without further ado, Carson, Hitman facing the lower bracket where he would face Fortitude, and Chaemiko versus Moon in the winner bracket, just one map away from that. That is a banger match, if there ever was one. And
yes,
Tidehunters, let's see, maybe Hitman brings back the series.
Yeah, a map that was once not too familiar, even, very recently not familiar to everyone, but now is very well figured out, as it seems. A very, very good map. And we'll see what Hitman brings to the table. And Chaemiko, I mean, we saw Sok go for a fast expansion all 3 games yesterday. Maybe this is what the Korean humans are preferring. Contrary to popular belief, of course, but we'll see. We'll see. Maybe he does it 2 games in a row.
Whew. That is... I'm casting a lot with Todd, and Todd is always educating me about the human way to play this game, and always said, if there's a 4th farm, there's an expansion. Do I have to reevaluate everything? Is that knowledge just gone?
There's 2 types of expansions. So there's a 4-farm expansion, which generally relies on you getting level 3 as part of the expansion creep route. So you might on this map say creep the orange camp, the sea giant, and then the green camp, and then go for the expansion to get very close to level 3, which would be a delayed expo. Or you can go for the expansion creep right away with 3 farms, which means you just have the perfect amount of lumber after you creep the expo as your first camp, and have 3 on lumber back at home with the 5 militia at the expo to power build that town hall without a tower. Whereas we saw last game Chaemiko go for that tower initially, but then we saw he lacked the lumber to go for the town hall right away, so, which is why he sort of waited around a tiny bit at the beginning of the game. But there's 2 approaches to the expo. Both are attempted against Orc, and both have been failed and both have been successful. So it's hard to say what is the best expo style against Orc.
Wait, there are build orders that are not a direct and guaranteed win? How boring. What is this nonsense? What is this
game
nonsense?
Sucks, right?
This game sucks! We got a new sub, by the way. Thank you. Oh, no, it's a follow. But anyway, thank you for following. Ashy Larry 00. Of course, if you're interested in Warcraft 3 competitive content, we are the channel for you. Farseer checks us out. This is the real test for Hitman now. He knows the map. He knows what the human players are playing on this map, and he can bring his real skill on Tidehunters. There's no excuses anymore if he loses this map as well.
Yeah, so grunt opener for Hitman and 2-farm tech for Chaemiko, which is almost an old school approach at this point. This does tend to mean rifles, but that was in the past. That was a while ago. Chaemiko is always the one switching up the meta, the opening build orders against Orc. So we'll see what he goes for, but this is what I would guess would be, if I saw 2-farm tech, I would think, okay, probably rifles, which is going to mean the grunt opener is actually quite strong for Hitman.
Hype. Man, Chaemiko, everybody is praising him at the moment. I was casting some Asia Cups where he was up against Lin, and oh man, is this guy a crazy fighter. Of course he comes up with new ideas. He's an innovator of creep routes and building positioning and movement on the map, and of course he's a good blocker and surrounder, but the way he's using items in the fight, the way he's shifting items around, the way he's positioning his army, that's just next level at the moment, and no other human can match him in that regard. He's turning into an almost ultimate weapon for the human race.
Yeah, he's a very detail-oriented player, which is something we don't really see, especially from top humans, but also from Korean and Chinese players. They all, of course, always have excellent mechanics in micro, but they're always looking at the big picture, the strategical big picture, whereas Chaemiko has a really good understanding, of course, of the big picture, but he also goes for the fancy small details, like he is right now with that grunt. Almost lands the block into surround, but not quite.
Taking a look at this Archmage here, still level 1. Found the claws, that's always nice, little extra damage. But I think this early game is pretty okay for Hitman. He denied the tower for a bit. He's taking militia time or mining time off of Chaemiko because he has 2 more of militia. Now the tower is up, now the harassment timing is over, but he got a lot of information there as well. Sees the tech timing, sees the blacksmith, he knows rifles are coming.
Yeah, the Archmage is eventually going to get level 2, but this sort of pressure is kind of expected when you're going for a 2-farm tech because you don't have a lot of footmen early on. And of course, if it was Headhunters, he probably wouldn't have defend early on either, but he does get the level 2 finally. Nicely done with the split creeping. The footmen are kind of getting bruised from this, but this is nice. But Hitman is going to go for Torn Chieftain and Spirit Lodge. And Hitman is kind of unique in this. When he's up against rifle casters, he doesn't go for a bestiary or an expansion. He just plays pure Grunt Shaman with attack upgrades and just power creeps his Torn Chieftain and says, okay, if you're going to play rifle caster, which doesn't scale into the late game, I'm just going to go into the late game with you on 1 base, and I'm just going to get the stronger army until you go into 2 Sanctum.
Okay, it does indeed feel a little bit out of meta, a little bit old schoolish, because we're gonna get a battle between TC and Mountain King, and yeah, it's oftentimes in Warcraft 3 a lot about the first heroes when you think about a leveled Blade Master, everything that goes for the undeads, you know, with the DK Coil, Nova, etc, etc. But here, it's really about the second heroes now. Who's gonna get a stronger one for the AoE clap and for the AoE stomp? That's the big question here now in this game. Oh, look at the block, look at the block. Amazing!
Yeah, 1 grunt going down. The second grunt actually at risk of falling. Speed scroll away. Yeah, Stormbolt will no longer get that kill. Torn Chieftain, by the way, Aura first, so no stomp to go for some sort of surround like Hitman landed last game. But Chaemiko's just trying to buy time for his rifles to come out because he knows he can't creep at the same speed as Hitman without calling a bunch of militia. So he's just trying to buy a tiny bit of time until he can catch up in creeping.
Man, I don't like this Aura First. Imagine he has Stomp there in that fight. Lots of opportunities. Aura First always super greedy and rarely pays off. I never thought, oh my god, he is... Oh, Fastier getting caught. It's getting out. There's way more Stormbolt, but TC's level 2.
Yeah, and he's going to save him. He also has a cloak that he could have passed over. So more time bought, but the TC did have to delay his own creeping to stop this. Chaemiko being very aggressive, but also he could call militia at any point to go for this lab, and he's going to go for it now. The Farsi are going to wait for the potion of vulnerability and probably the heal scroll as well. But in doing this, he's going to give up a full camp to Chaemiko's Mountain King. And
possibly one of the best items on the map. If this Boots of Kalthalas, ha! Jinxed! Oh. That is not one of them. Almost every other item would have been super useful. There's auras here, there's a lot of stat boosting items here, but this one, humans hate this one. But there's a marketplace on this map, so he can sell it and buy something that he likes a little more. Scroll of the Beast, also an item that Hitman doesn't want. Damage boost on the Grunt Shaman army, not ideal.
Okay, this will be TC level 3. Yeah, the Scroll of the Beast could be used maybe early, but Chaemiko with the mechanics is going to be so on point with those dispels with the priests that are soon to be adept. He's also getting +1 on the rifles. Mountain King's really going to struggle here to get level 3, and the Torn Chieftain already is level 3, but he might need to go back for some more salves and maybe even a mana pot. So this could allow Chaemiko to just power creep this whole bottom left of the map. And the Farseer is looking to pressure, but is a little bit afraid maybe of the bolt surrounds.
Game is a little tame. Did you see that second Sanctum? The wolf was basically dead. Ooh, this could either be super quick information for Hitman and he can adjust, or very unlucky.
Yeah, he would be reacting with a bestiary most likely, and probably an expansion if he saw that for sure. But maybe, yeah, maybe he didn't. That's a really good point, because you do have to react once the human transitions into breakers.
Want to get Kodos as fast as possible to eat them, and as unlucky as Chaemiko was at the lab, the turtles got great loot, Potion of Greater Mana, a dream for Mountain King.
Yeah, that's going to be really, really nice, especially now that he's level 2 and he's got that level 2 clap. But Chaemiko's missing one crucial thing, and that's Potion of Vulnerability, and maybe even 2 crucial things that would also be Potion, or a heal scroll rather, but maybe he can get a health stone from this red camp that he's certainly going to get with the rifles. Hitman, surprised to see he's not looking for a fight. He's just power creeping the TC up to close to level 4 now.
I feel like experience is going in favor of Chaemiko at the moment. Mana Stone on top of this! Holy! This is 500 mana that he can just use with items. This might win him the fight alone.
Yeah, Hitman has double heal scroll. But yeah, this is going to be pretty much infinite claps. But the heroes will be exposed, so hero focus is always an opportunity Hitman might see. And I also really like, by the way, the crystal ball usage from Chaemiko, just to make sure there's not an invis TC, which would be a very common play at this stage. So he might even keep that crystal ball just to continuously do that before a fight to make sure the TC isn't on top of his whole army. Usually
an item that many people sell. A couple of streamers has it or have it as an emote to ridicule the usefulness of this item, but not Chaemiko here, respecting the value of the crystal ball. It was just sniping the item, so there's a little bit more experience here. TC making strides towards level 5. Farseer still not level 3, which is not that important in this matchup. Yeah, Chain Lightning into the casters is nice, but getting a follow-up into them is not that easy. And now he definitely confirmed the second Sanctum and is reacting, as you said, with a Bestiary.
Yeah, Chaemiko just banking. He does this quite often. He's not buying many items. He didn't spend the 500 gold on 2 heal scrolls or the 150 on a Potion of Vulnerability, so we see the difference in the economy right now. 1,300 to 500 gold bank, and Hitman definitely is going to have to heal up, but he's almost level 5 TC. Can he get it off the green camp? This, of course, just destroys a rifle caster army, which is why the breakers are necessary eventually for Chaemiko.
Good multitasking, of course, buying the self. Is this enough? It's 100 XP. I don't think so. Oh, the Chaemiko Invis Footman for the scout.
Love it.
Absolutely
backpack?
gorgeous.
No, sometimes he has backpack with that and he steals items away, which is super sick.
Chaemiko getting the red spot. He got the better end of Tidehunter's here, level 4. Very, very tanky MK as well with 2 items. Solo creeping, Archmage move to the side. Level 3 is definitely enough for him. Also level 2 Brilliant Zora, because Water Elementals don't do anything really. Will be purged and basically just feed the Orc up. And this is... what do we got? Helm of Valor. Okay, couple of stats for this MK.
It is the worst item, but it's still like, okay, you got the big red camp. You could be happy with that. You already got your Mana Stone, right? So it's not good, but it's still a nice item, you know? All the items are decent, at least.
Level 5 TC unlocked. Level 3 Stomp. 3 heal scrolls, Scroll of the Beast, Mana Potion, Wand of Mana Stealing. Is that enough to threaten Chaemiko? Supply is kinda even. Chaemiko is still waiting for 2 breakers. Invis MK now. Ooh, did you not see this?
Greedy boy.
Nasty creep check.
Yeah, and the speed scroll, the TC definitely needs to engage with a nice stomp right away. Chaemiko's positioning is so good. See how he's moving back to try to bait the TC to go too far forward so he can bolt and feed back. Really nice beginning of the engagement for Chaemiko.
Off we go. There's a couple of militia in as well. Clap is wrecking these grunts. TC is trying to get rid of these militia, but Dispel is ready. And that wasn't too much AoE here. Chaemiko once again pulling back. Supply lead still with him. Focus fire on this priest is pretty good. The stomp doesn't really connect. Oh, it feels like Hitman is in trouble. In a lot of trouble.
Yeah, he has a town portal he can still pull. Look at the play against the TC, Neo. This is absurd. He has not let the TC back. This is not the right positioning for Hitman. and Chaemiko's killing everything. 54 against 72 supply. The TC has yet to really land a real stomp yet. There's a dodge on the invuln. Maybe this stomp can land. No, it just can't. He can never get in range. A couple of units get hit, but really, can Hitman clean this up? No, he's gonna have to just TP.
And the TC! Oh no! Level 5 MK. Good game is called, and Chaemiko advances to the winner bracket semifinal versus Moon. And Hitman finds himself in the lower bracket after 2 maps going back to back to Chaemiko. Not the right counter, maybe. Of course, very unlucky that he had to fight a big mana potion and a big health stone, which basically allowed the Mountain King to clap, 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 clap. And that eventually destroyed him, even though there were 3 heal scrolls. I wonder how this game goes without the items, but man, Chaemiko in these fights, you pointed it out when it started. It's just so gorgeous. The Mountain King positioning, the Breaker positioning, the way he keeps his caster safe, the way he moves back and forth. It's just top human gameplay.
Yeah, that was... Hitman gave Chaemiko the fight that he wanted, right? And after a game like this, where both players are just power creeping, literally up to level 5/5 on their each on their secondary heroes, and just creeping the entire map. There was only 1 camp left on the whole map, and you both break upkeep at the same time. You're both getting items. Hitman a triple heal scroll. It's all coming down to this one fight, and Hitman gave Chaemiko the perfect fight, the perfect positioning. You need to be the first one to engage. You need to be 100% in if you're the Orc player in this situation. You need a speed scroll in, get a stomp on the casters. Even if you don't get another stomp, that first stomp has to be money on the casters, on the rifles, and you need to follow it up by getting the grunts on top as well. You can't just fully engage into a breaker wall and hope your TC gets in the back somehow. That doesn't work against human at this stage of the game when it's 60 versus 60. And Chaemiko just past that point micros perfectly. Like, really, this game all came down to that one fight, and Chaemiko microed, better than I've seen most humans in the world micro in fights like that.
It's so sick. Like, since the regional finals that we had in March-ish for DreamHack, his fights against Orc are just a thing of beauty. I don't know. It's just perfect. It's just absolutely perfect the way he positions his breakers to block everything. This Invis MK, super good. Seeing that Hitman is going for the creep and then initially jump on it. It's just so good.
Yeah, and like even the Invis on that one priest at the beginning of the fight. So crazy.
Yeah.
He saves everything. Only militia going down. I don't even know how many units Hitman killed there. Maybe the Kodo ate something, but yeah, not a good fight from Hitman.
Well, that was his first game. He's not out yet here in the round of 8. We have a double elimination bracket, so he will face Fortitude now in, one would say, the same matchup, but versus Orc, Fortitude is playing Night Elf, and that is the Achilles heel of Hitman, but it's also not Fortitude's main race. We'll see who takes that home. But first, we go into the winner bracket semi-final. Who's going to be Foggy's opponent in the winner bracket final tomorrow, where we then have a best of 5. It's either Foggy versus Moon or it's Foggy versus Chaemiko. This is going to be a banger match, everybody. And we'd go into a little bit of a break so you can stock up on snacks and drinks. We're going to be here for a long time, so just get ready that you don't have to leave your couch or desk or wherever you're looking. If you like what we do, if you like competitive Warcraft on your home screens, then you might want to support us. We have our homepage, backtowarcraft.com, where you find the schedule of our broadcast. It also has a support section at backtowarcraft.com/support. We do have a Patreon where you can sub from $2 up to $50. You get access to secret Discord channels where you see everything about the current developments in the Back to Warcraft team. You get early access to podcasts. You get Q&A sessions. You get hand-picked music and movie recommendations by myself, by Carson, and by Mr. Remo Demo. You get replay analysis, you get coaching, you get fun map evenings, you get a wonderful VIP badge in our chat, and of course, you support competitive Warcraft. Holy
oh my god.
Shitto! I love Choco. 200 euros! Thank you so much for keeping Warcraft 3 strong and alive. Long live Back to Warcraft. Oh my god, dude. This is sick. Yeah, follow this man. He's the perfect example of how to support us with a one-time donation, doable via PayPal or credit card or even cryptocurrency. Holy shit. Link Lambo coming in with a sub. Let's go less than 3. Thank you so much. Of course, we take your Twitch subs, we take your primes, and we are very, very happy that the number on the sub counter goes higher and higher and higher. I've got a little bit of merchandise up as well. T-shirts, hoodies, mugs, all available on Streamlabs as well. And our stream sponsor is Corsair. So if you're looking for new gears, new hardware, new keyboards, new headsets, new anything, Corsair got you covered. Click that link, use the coupon code back to Warcraft for a 10% discount. If you're a fellow streamer here on Twitch, it also works for Elgato products, as that is a sister company of Corsair. And oh damn, do we love Elgato.
Yeah, really nice. Get yourself one of these keyboards. These are real nice. And I promise everybody, this is not the keyboard that Hitman was just playing on. Okay, it's a much nicer keyboard. Just kidding. Sorry, Victor. Sorry if you listen to this. Sorry. Yeah, really nice keyboards, especially. But I use all their gear: Stream Deck, lights, green screens, mouse, keyboard, headset. It's all really good. But the keyboard I've used for like 9-10 years at this point. My brother uses them as well. That's how I got into them. But yeah, definitely the best keyboard I've ever had. The K70, really nice.
And they have sales as a logo, man. How amazing is that? Thank you, Sanolan, for the 46-month resub. I love Choco, man. Holy, I can't remember when we got a €200 donation that was not coming from Knobequakes, the madman.
It's been a while. It's been a while. Yeah, I can't remember either. So that's it's massive support, man. Massive support.
Sick. So we go into a little break to let that sink and digest this somehow. It's unbelievable. And then we have Moon vs freaking Chaemiko. So get hyped, spread the word. W3 Champions Season 8 Finals.